Hey there, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. Today I'm starting this early because there's a few steps to it. We're going to be marinating the pork, and so starting early is good. With this recipe, you need at least 2 hours to marinate your pork, but if you can marinate it overnight, the flavour will be so much better. So I'm going for the 2 hours because that's all I've got time for. And we are cooking honey mustard pork with warm apple and pear salsa. This is what we need. But the marinade is this. So this is what we're concentrating on now. This recipe will serve 4. So come on in, I'll show you what we need. So I'm not super organized because the main thing I was worried about was getting ready to marinate the pork. But I'm going to talk you through everything we need. So we are going to need a ceramic dish to marinate our pork in. So this one's perfect for that. You'll also need a jug to make your marinade in. We are going to be using our oven, so we need an oven-proof dish for roasting the I was going to say veggies, but we're actually roasting fruit. To roast the fruit, and that's going to be done at 200 degrees. And you're also going to need your barbecue or indoor barbecue, or you can just use your stovetop with your char grill pan. Entirely up to you. So let's go through our list of ingredients. 4 pork loin cutlets delivered from my awesome butcher. 2 pink lady apples, which we're going to dice up. 2 Josephine pears, which we're also going to dice up. Half a small red onion, which we're going to thinly slice. A lot of times I just end up using extra onion, so I think I will just use all of that. Half a small lemon, which we're going to juice. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. 2 Roma tomatoes, which we're going to cut into quarters, and then we're going to de-seed and thinly slice. 2 teaspoons of balsamic vinegar. Now, I don't know why. This one was nearly gone. I purchased another one, which I started before that. And I don't normally do that, so that's bad pantry management. So that's that one there. 1/4 cup of olive oil. Mixed salad leaves to serve. Just buy one of these is probably easier. Make sure you wash it. You never know what's survived its transportation through the days. For our honey mustard marinade, we are using 1 cup of apple juice, 1/4 cup of honey. I've finished off this jar, which is great. I'm going to try the squeezy one to see if that stops solidifying like the inside of the jar does. 1 clove of garlic, which we're going to crush. We're ready to crush that in there. 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard and 1 tablespoon of whole grain mustard. Yum. All right, so now you know what we need. We're going to start with as I said, we're starting by marinating our pork. So the marinade is really quite simple. You want a jug. I was going to use the jug, but since I've got all the honey out of this, I'm actually going to put it in a jar. If you can use a screw top jar rather than a jug, believe it or not, it's better. I used to make marinades and salad dressings up in a jar. Jar's probably somewhere in the kitchen. Today is 10 years since I've actually started to move to where I live now, here in Lawson. So this is sort of like, I guess, an anniversary dinner for my property. So in that 10 years, things have been sort of moved around in the kitchen. So I did used to, a lot of times, make all my marinades up in a jar. And as I say, it's brilliant because you put the lid on, you shake it up, everything's mixed. It's a lot easier on your washing up as well. So after saying that, into the jar we are going to put the apple juice. which is the 1 cup. We're going to put the honey in. So we need another spoon. In it goes. Seems like a lot of double handling, I know, but this is probably going to be the best way to sort of wash out the jar as well. Quite often I keep jars for when I make things that need to be put into jars. 1 clove of garlic, which we're going to crush. Pop that over there for the moment. And then we need our 2 lots of mustard. 1 tablespoon of Dijon. Just going to try and clean the spoon up a little bit. One good thing is I have a lot of teaspoons. Teaspoons come in handy for cleaning spoons, etc., etc. All right. So that in that jar is our marinade. So lid goes on. Shake it about. All right, let's bring over our ceramic dish, please. Okay, now our beautiful pork cutlets. I had a little look at them yesterday once they got delivered. It's really hard to have a good look at something because obviously you've got to take them out of the bag. Oh, they're nice big ones. Oh, look at them. They're huge. Beautiful. He's done well. All right. Well, these aren't going to fit in here very easily. We'll try our best though. Oh, we can place stacks on. All right. Squish them in. Beautiful. Oh, yum. All right. Hopefully we don't run out of room. Done such a good job putting the lid on, I can't even get the lid off. All right, here we go. Over we go. All right, cover that with cling. Into the fridge for minimum 2 hours. As I say, if you can go for overnight, legendary for you. Otherwise 2 hours is enough. So I will catch you when we're ready to start and cook. Catch you then. Okay, we're back. So oven's on 200. Pork's still marinating, so it's been marinating for a couple of hours now, which is good, but it's time to get started on our warm apple and pear salsa. So spray up a pan. I've diced up the 2 pink lady apples. In they go. Diced up the 2 Josephine pears. In they go. Eventually, in they go. The onion is said to use half an onion, but I'm going to stick the other half in the freezer. And since I've just cleaned my freezer out today, it's never going to get used. So I'm just going to make it extra oniony. So just divide the onions up. I always ask for the smallest ones, and then naturally I don't get the smallest onion, but that's fine. This won't be too bad when it's cooked. It'll be a bit oniony, but so what? We'll get there. We'll survive without it. Okay, over the top of this, we're supposed to do this in a bowl, but never mind, because at the end of the day it's going to end up in here anyway. We are also doing a tablespoon of lemon juice, which was the juice of half a lemon. Which is not really the juice of half a lemon, but it just tells you to only use a tablespoon of it. So just set the rest of it aside. And finally, we are adding 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. So we're going to spread this over the top. Obviously, the reason for putting it in the bowl was just so that we could toss it through. But you know what? They're cooking in the oven, so it'll work out. All right, this is going in the oven for 15 minutes or until light golden and almost tender. Then we're going to remove it to a bowl. So the bowl will come in handy. All right, into the oven, 15, let's go. Okay, so while they're in the oven, you can either sit here twiddling your thumbs, wash up, have a coffee, or you can get going with the next step. So I'm going to choose to get going with the next step. So with the tomatoes, we are going to be putting them into the bowl eventually. So what you need to do is cut them into quarters. That is not a very good cut of a quarter. We're going to take the seeds out of them, and then we're going to slice them up thinly. Okay, so to take the seeds out, you just basically, down you go. So it looks like that. What we're doing is we're going to cut it up very thinly. I don't cut things too thin. Definitely not with that knife anyway. Most of my knives suck. All right, that'll do. All right. So when it looks like that, that's going into the bowl. That doesn't need to cook. It just needs to be ready. So keep going with the rest of those. That's 1 down. 7 to go. Okay, so I've got the indoor barbecue ready. If you've got an outdoor barbecue, it's probably easier, but this is my barbecue. We're going to get the pork out ready. So what we need to do is we're going to take 2 tablespoons of the olive oil to put in with our tomatoes and other stuff. So we're going to take that off now, just so that we've got it. The rest of the olive oil is actually going to go onto the barbecue plate, which I don't really put oil down on it, but I am going to put a little bit down on it for today. Because I'm not going to get them all on there. I'm going to actually end up putting them on that thing, the grill. Should know what that is. Okay, I'm going to get some spray onto it. And let's grab them out of the fridge and get ready to sizzle. Okay, crank it up. I don't think I've got anything underneath that I shouldn't have underneath. Turn it on at the wall. Duh. No, there's nothing under there. I just had to make sure. On one of the other things that I've got, there's a cleaning tool underneath. Don't really want the cleaning tool as part of it. So I'm going to crank it up to a really high heat. Well, 11. 11's not very high heat, but it's pretty high. We'll get them out of the fridge. Now you want to make sure that you don't keep your marinade. I'm pretty sure it tells us not to keep our marinade. Okay, fighting for room in the kitchen as per usual. Okay, here they are. So yours should have been in the fridge for at least 2 hours. As I say, if you've done overnight, you're even better. Okay, barbecue pork for 6 to 8 minutes. Okay, so as I say, I'm going to start them off on there as well. Oh, they're so yum. They're not cooked, obviously, but they look so yum. All right. So, wouldn't hurt to get a brush and just try and give them a bit of a brush. Main reason I say that is because this marinade, you're not keeping it. Don't go too crazy with your marinade. Beautiful. All right, 6 minutes, and then we're going to turn them over. We've got another couple more minutes before we're getting the fruit out of the oven. It feels weird saying getting the fruit out of the oven, but that's what we're actually doing. I'm going to just put some olive oil over the top of them so that when I turn them over, we've got olive oil on them. All right, so get barbecuing. Okay, so our buzzer's gone off for our fruit, so I'm going to grab that out of the oven and pop it into the bowl. Okay, that looks awesome. So the tomatoes are in the bottom, so we're going to give that a real big toss. And what else are we putting in with this? I'll give it a toss and I'll be back. Okay, so we're adding our 2 teaspoons of balsamic vinegar because we've already added our olive oil. There's one. And this is about the time now where you want to start and get your salad leaves ready. All right, I'm just going to put a little extra glug in because that was 1.5 teaspoons. Give it a glug. Balsamic vinegar is quite nice. All right. Stir that through. All right, that is our warm pear and apple salsa. Set that aside. Grab your salad leaf. What you want to do is get yourself a bowl of cold water with some salt in it. And what that will do is it will kill off any simons and SIDS that are living in it. That's my slang name for snails and slugs, by the way. I'm just going to wash mine quickly. Even though it says it's washed and ready to eat, you never know what you're going to get in it. So, if in doubt, which I always am, just give it a wash. All right, we should be nearly ready to turn that. I'm just going to turn them. Okay. Oh, look at that. Wow. That looks amazing. All right, I'm going to give that a bit more of a marinade drizzle. Wow. Indoor barbecues are pretty awesome, you know. I very rarely use this, and I should be using it a bit more. All right, I'm going to get rid of the rest of that marinade. Pop some more olive oil over the top. Okay. Another few moments. What we do when it's finished is we're going to pop it on a plate and cover it with foil and rest it for 5 minutes. I forgot Season your salsa with salt and pepper. My enemy, they didn't tell me in the ingredients, they tell me in the recipe. Hate that. I read it too, so I know that it's there. All right, that looks good. Okay. Okay, so when they look like this, we're going to take them off and we're just going to pop them onto a plate and they're going to rest for 5 minutes before we dish up. So when you dish up, you just pop down a plate full of salsa, put this on top and some salad leaves on the side. So thank you for watching this episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. This has been honey mustard pork with warm apple and pear salsa. I hope you enjoy this one and I'll catch you on the next adventure very soon.